This is Soulcharge, the podcast for women leaders to take the highest level of ownership of their power to create results now. I'm your host, Stacy B. Let's dive in.
So it's automatic. It's almost just automatic.
Yes.
Like it's almost instantaneous.
Yes.
And it's not months of counseling or coaching to get there.
Yes.
Which hasn't really gotten us there. But I think all of the other homework we've done has, for example, I'm not defensive. Yeah. You know, I am in some ways.
We all are.
But, you know, in working, it's like I want to unlock this thing that's in my way. What's this hitch now that I have, this barrier, this wall? And I want to unlock that. Yeah. And so a process that just seamlessly steps me through that is it's almost magic.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah. So it was an epiphany, and you know, epiphanies are pretty instantaneous. It is like that lightning bolt of realization of like, oh, it's genius. I'm just gonna compare it to genius, you know, in the sense of like inventors when they're like, oh, this is how I can harness electricity. Right. Oh, I can make light. Oh, I can make fire. You know, there's this like epiphany, this moment where everything comes together.
Yes.
And yeah, so the process is unbelievably fast. Yeah. So I think self-help, you were mentioning that earlier, we were talking, and it's had its day and it's served us.
Yes.
But it only can take us so far.
Yep.
Right? It's where it's this endless, like, I'm on a diet of self-help all the time.
Yes.
And it's like we go so far down the road, but we don't quite arrive.
Yes.
To that full satisfaction, that fulfillment. And I don't think I've experienced this in the Soulcharge methodology, and I've used it with my clients, and I'm seeing them 180 in one session, things that plagued them for years.
Yes. And that just makes me speechless because it's like, yes, this is what...
It's miraculous.
This is what we're here to do, right? It's almost like, you know, we were talking earlier about like the self-help industry has kind of, keeps you seeking, right? To the next thing. And it's not... And I was saying it's like not like someone was like, let's keep everyone seeking so we can make a ton of money. I don't believe that's anyone's true intention.
No.
But I think that there is a concoction, and I'm taken back to the joy of my childhood when I just loved concocting. Like I loved like taking a recipe and like changing it up and seeing like what makes it go faster or what makes it do different things or whatever the potion concoction was. But it's like, that's very much like how Soulcharge came to be, right? Was me being in my personal seeking journey and like the loops and going to this conference and that mastermind. And it's like at the end of it, I still was unfulfilled. I still felt a level of disconnect. And so being able to put what I had learned, but also like what was missing in a concoction that could be bigger than me. Right? That someone like you could come and learn it and then take it to your clients. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
It does not.
It doesn't. Because like at the end of it, well, I'll ask you, when you see your clients do the 180, what is it that's the 180? What were they experiencing? And now what are they experiencing through one session with you?
So I'm going to step back just a little bit. I'm going to say, I would say in my life, I've had a creative cap in this adulthood. In the last, couple decade, 15 years, I've been coaching for 20 some years and working in leadership for that long. And so I don't know one leader, no matter how remarkable they are, that they don't have one place where they just run up against that wall, where there's a cap.
Yes.
There's a limitation.
Yes.
And they don't know why. because they're so darn creative and innovative, and they can solve problems that other people can't solve. Like they can figure it out, but they can't figure out this piece for themselves. So if I say that in my own development, I've developed so far. I have a good life. I love my life. I actually like myself now. Like all these things. Like I've arrived in so many ways. And yet I could tell that there was some barrier to my full expression, my full potential, my full authentic creative manifestation out in the world. Is like, I can only get so far. I get this far and then and so I think for all these leaders, they're ready and they're hungry and they're dying for it.
What is the 180 that they're experiencing?
The 180. So
is it freedom? Is it fulfillment? Like, is it a different perspective?
It's clarity.
Yeah.
They're clear all of a sudden on what is that program, that little hitch they have. And Soulcharge, it's the root diagnostic.
Yep.
You were getting to the root of a symptom that's going to continue showing up. So I've had, can I give you an example?
Of course, I'd love it, yes.
So one of my clients, extremely successful in commercial real estate, big contracts. People wanted to know her, be around her, invite her to speak. It's like, how do you do it? And when I started working with her, she had a coach that worked with her right before I came in and worked with this Soulcharge method. And the answer that coach had was, your people aren't performing. You've got people in key positions that aren't pulling their weight. And they weren't. And this leader, like many of you leaders out there, are shouldering so much more. This is part of that delegation. It's like, why am I shouldering all this? Why am I pulling this team over and over again? Why aren't they taking initiative? All these things. But I can do it, so I'm going to do it. And so this previous coach, the idea was like, let's get the right people on the bus. I mean, I'm using an old expression, and it's like, yes, there's validity. Like you need to match people to the right role so they can be in their innate brilliance, their natural brilliance. But this leader, I was like, you can get rid of these people, but you're just going to hire more people with the same issues because this is an issue about you.
Wow.
This is a piece in you. You want to figure out what that is? You want to uncover that and get rid of that? Let's do that.
Wow.
So that you can really correctly enable people, empower them to be their best because you're no longer getting in the way.
Yes.
With the hitch inside you.
Yes.
So how that's mirroring out. We know this.
Yes.
I mean, most of the people we deal with are very sophisticated. We know our external, what we're creating, is a reflection of our internal landscape.
Yes.
So if I have an issue that keeps showing up over and over and over again, it's in me.
Yeah.
And I could recognize that before I met you. And my clients are so on top of that. They just don't know how to unlock it.
Yeah.
They just can't figure out what that hitch is. And this process revealed it to me.
Yes.
And so there's a part of, we're not telling you when we do the Soulcharge, right? We're not telling you what the issue is. We give you a process where you are discovering that. You can speak to that better than I can. But,
well, I love the natural unfolding of this conversation because I love it so much. It's so good. It's so good. For all of you that love when I say it to you, it's so good. It's so good. But why it's so good is that what I just heard you say is like, we are handing our clients the keys. We're handing our clients the keys. And I think that is the piece for me that I never felt like I got from the self-help industry. I felt like I had to go to the event or the coach or the whatever, that they had the key. And so I was actually outsourcing my authority throughout my development process. I got so much. I would not be who I am today without every coach, every mentor, every situation. But I think that is the one thing that Soulcharge solves. There's other things, but from a differentiator piece of this is the unlock. And it's you that has the ability to not just unlock this, but apply this to every area of your life.
Yes.
And that you're not dependent on Soulcharge. In fact, we are activating your own soul to be charged. And then when that is activated in you, it is contagious.
Yes.
Right? And it's everywhere. And it's not just in the business, it's in your relationships. And you get to go across every landscape of your being and go, I don't like this. Oh, let's change it. And have a way to be able to practically change it and then see how the energy follows.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I would say to that is, I don't know if map is the right word, but the Soulcharge process, the standard, it gives you a map and a way and steps. Now, what you've done for me and what I do for my clients is teach me how to think within that.
Yes.
So you quicken my sight by asking the right questions, by refining how I'm catching evidence, so that I can go, oh, it's showing up right there. And I can cut it out.
Yes.
And so I think as my clients grow in this process, they come back every week and tell me how they're catching themselves.
Wow.
Right? So, and the more we do that, the more they can see. So metacognition, cognition is how do we think? Metacognition is how do I think about how I think, right? And so Soulcharge, the standard process, gives us this map, and working with someone else is a quickening. And I'll tell you, the people I work with want to go fast.
Yes.
They don't want to, and so that 180 is happening so fast.
Yeah.
And yet they come back each week and they share where they're catching it, where they're installing the new standard, how they're shifting, and they'll bring up other things, and then I'll ask them a question. They'll go, oh, it's showing up here.
Yes.
I was talking to a client. I was saying, it's like you have a mirror of yourself, and you're looking in the mirror, and the root symptoms where we get fractured, it's like you smash the mirror and it goes in 100 places and pieces, and it goes out in your life that way.
Yes.
It goes all over the place, right? And so this is the journey with you, working with you, and continuing to go, oh, and continuing to get even faster and sharper at catching where the old root shows up and how to move around that.
Yes.
So there is value obviously in having your coach, but you're not dependent on it at all.
Yes.
Well,
and that's one thing. It's funny that you say that, because I was thinking about this just yesterday, is like the entire industry at large requires, or relies rather, on the coach you select being a good coach.
Yes,
right?
Of course. Yes.
And what this methodology also does, this methodology also solves for, is that we don't have to worry about that as much, right? Because it's almost like if there is a standard, then that also protects leaders across the board from the standpoint of like, you're not just relying on, this connection that you had at this like conference. Like it's the gold standard of the industry, right? Is like working in Soulcharge, you're working with the root. And so when you know how to work with the root, it's a different game.
It's brilliant. It's so replicable.
Yes.
What you're saying. And it's so clean, and there is, sure, each person brings their own flavor to it, each practitioner. And yet we're all operating from the same operating system.
Yes. Yes.
From the same system.
Yes.
And so I think that's the genius of it. Well, one of the many geniuses of it. Yeah, it's very replicable.
Yeah.
So easier to, so my clients, as they understand and they go on this journey and then they're going, oh, now there's this layer, now there's this layer, they're going to continue to think that way and see that way.
Yes.
It's going to be exponential.
Yes. Yes.
It is for me.
Yes. Amen.
I'm almost daily, I'm like, oh, there's that old thing.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's over here now.
Yeah. And you just get to like sweep it off, subtract it.
Don't do that.
And move on.
Do this.
Yes. Yes. Now that it is in your awareness, you can't unsee it, which is so fun.
Yes.
Right? Because it's like once that level of awareness is there, then that conscious decision making is there. They go hand in hand.
I think it's not hard work.
No.
It's not. Like it's just revelatory. It's just like it's revealed.
Yes.
Now, I would say the hard part, if it's going to be called a hard part, is just being out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Yes.
Because I've been in this comfort zone for how many years?
Right.
I've been on this track with this program. And now pulling out that program and rooting that out is now is like, oh, this is new. I'm a little, it's like a child, I'm a toddler with it. And yet if I'm ready and willing to ride that wave of just some discomfort to install this new way of getting everything I want.
Yes. Yes.
Getting everything I want. I mean, that's not a big cost.
No. No.
Yeah.
Cool. That's so great. So I'm so excited to dive into the vision of Soulcharge from the standpoint of, obviously it's been a coaching model, for a long time, but the vision shifting into really leaning in to empowering practitioners with the Soulcharge methodology and the standard, and helping leaders with those practitioners, install the methodology into their leadership and also into their organizations. And where that passion, originally started was really this idea of how do we simplify the transformation process? Like, how do we look at this like, and I work in so many examples and metaphors. And I actually remember a coach saying to me, one day you're going to be paid a lot of money for your metaphors. And I was like, I look forward to that day, because if I could just remember them and like file them away, I think they'd be brilliant. But the metaphor of like this, electrical panel, and us as leaders having this energy that is just, it's so profound. Like if you think about the energy that leaders have to bring an idea from nothing to something to multi-million-dollar enterprise is truly otherworldly. It truly is genius, and it's like, and they're only operating in like half power sometimes. They're only operating, maybe a quarter power, because there's this idea of there's resistance in their leadership, whether it's their codependent, their people-pleasing, whatever that may be. And so, this idea of like, how do we remove resistance and restore power? And remove resistance and restore power. And so I started thinking about it, in this way of like, if we had a way that was the standard of how power is distributed in leadership, yes, and more, please, right? And so like, that's really like the, spirit of Soulcharge is activating leaders in a way that they are not leading in the old paradigm anymore, but they are leading from the front, from their soul being charged and energized and in that full expression. And so naturally, going the route of the practitioner opportunity, allowing me to work like with you and us to work together to train, the future practitioners and all of that, so that there is a standard is what is next for Soulcharge. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm so excited about that because, there isn't an internal operating system for us as leaders, right? It's like there's all these fragmented programs, all brilliant in their own right? Where it's like you have leadership training, you have conscious leadership, you have like, team dynamics, like culture things. I know you know more about than I do from a standpoint of like what's out there with all of your experience. And it's like there isn't one standard, a manual of how do you have peace and profit? How do you have joy and fulfillment and profit? Like, how do you have it all? And I think, when I think about, and what we were just talking about on our last episode about, leaders have this creative ability. They have this ability to create, but then they find themselves where they get a hiccup in the giddy up in some way in that creation process. And it's like, if you think of what Soulcharge is here to do, it's to connect you to your soul, to activate all of your power, to give you a way to do that so that you can create anything you want and have it all. Because that is the new model of leadership.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I'll pause. Thoughts?
Well, historically, leadership was, if I'm the leader, I'm focused out on the organization, on where we want to go, the community, the market, everything. I'm focused out. And that's that thing we were talking about earlier where I'm not in it. I'm pushing, I'm creating, I'm moving, I'm, visioning, I'm strategizing out.
Yeah.
Not in. And then people development, we're like, oh, what do I want? And 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and all that stuff. And yet the internal piece, I've been asking leaders this, like, so a leader, the top dog, they help create accountability systems, metrics, AOPs, all these things, KPIs. They drive all of that. They're responsible to stakeholders, stockholders, the board, their employees. They're not in their own circle. Just like I was talking about my own I wasn't in my own creation.
Yes.
I was creating out, pushing out.
Yes.
And so I've been asking and looking when I interview leaders on leadership, I've been saying, well, what is your accountability system for you? And you may have an advisor, a trusted advisor, but it's all ad hoc.
Yes.
It's all self-created, and it's not very effective, frankly.
Yes.
Because in my experience, most people don't speak truth to power fully, openly, unreservedly. They do not. So you're getting minuscule amount of feedback, right?
Yeah.
So how does a leader, Soulcharge has created a total system that as a leader, I can be accountable to myself and my organization in a way that I've never been, in a way that gets me everything I want, in a level of deep satisfaction, not just success and achievement, but joy, fulfillment, deep satisfaction, and like living the life I want to live. Because I've talked to so many leaders that are still out there doing it, making it happen, but there's a diminishing return. It's like, man, I wrote the book, I spoke at the conference, I got these awards, I got acknowledged, and it didn't really do that much for me.
Do you find that those leaders are not necessarily clear on what is true for their next metric? Like the business growth and the percentages and the EBITDA and how the revenue is growing, like that is all clear and the business is working towards that. But it's almost like the leader, to your point earlier, is outside of that from like what really matters to them in this season. Like maybe the kids have left the nest or, like life has changed in a way where what matters to them has changed. Like maybe before it was the award or the speaking event or getting the thing, but now it's about how do I work 20 hours a week? How do I not be involved in every decision? Like, do you think, is that part clear for leaders?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. And even when I've coached them before Soulcharge,
Yeah.
and I can coach them to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what lights you up? What's going to enliven you in your life?
Yeah.
Like they can get there with coaching and curiosity and inquiry, because that answer's inside them. So that's easy to pull out for me. And yet, if they have that root symptom, it's going to keep sabotaging them being able to have that.
Yes.
So it's a twofer. It's like, first, am I clear?
Yes.
And we can help people get clear. Like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But then the hitch, the barrier to having that, because I can't let myself have it if I don't see where I'm sabotaging myself.
Yeah. Yes.
If I don't get my part in that.
Yeah.
And that's what was baffling me. And I said, I don't know, a month or two before I met you at that conference, I said, I wonder who could mentor me now. Because I don't meet people that could coach me. I'm pretty sophisticated in my development, and I'm on it. I'm always on it, and I'm seeking and creating and doing, and yet I would bump against this barrier of my own self-fulfillment in certain ways that when I started working with you, you unlocked that key for me.
Wow.
So if we don't do that part, the other part is not going to happen fully.
Yes.
It's going to cap out.
So I want to ask this question in two facets. So the question is, and you've alluded to it, but just to like really land the plane, what has been the difference for you as a coach working in Soulcharge?
The immediate results.
Okay.
I mean, using the diagnostic process and working with my clients and just, I mean, it's like things that have, like I said, have plagued them for years and having that revealed in them, and we know where to go.
Yeah. So
we know what to do about it.
Yeah.
To remove it.
Wow. And then what is the difference for the clients?
They're blown away.
Yeah.
Because these are people that are very sophisticated, they've done they're amazing as people, as leaders, and they know how to go after things. They know how to get things. They know how to move things. And yet this one piece that has been elusive for them, for themselves.
Yeah.
That they've been missing, and to have that key unlock that door for them, it's like it's joyful.
Yeah. This is
I watch the weight lift off of them.
Yes. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because this is so multifaceted for me, obviously, which I'll continue to echo. But the thing that is at the core when I hear you talk, you know, is like what we're really doing is like showing leaders how to be happy in what they're creating.
Yes.
And it's like, I remember being a little girl and having a thought of like, why aren't people happy? Like, and obviously it was like a very micro version as a little person, right? But it was like, it's so interesting how that passion or desire, you know, is a part of this as well, you know, because that's what I heard you say is like, it's not that they're just unlocking this door that they haven't been able to, but it's what that actually means for the future of their lives and the organization, right? That's that exponential.
And they're liberated.
Yes.
They're liberated from the thing they couldn't identify.
Wow.
That was holding them.
Yes.
That was capping life off for them at a certain point.
Yeah.
Even though they look massively successful.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, how many of us in our society say, wow, I have it all. Why aren't I happier?
Yes, exactly.
Why aren't I happier? Why don't I feel more fulfilled?
Yes. Yeah.
Why am I tired? And burnout is doing the same thing and getting the same result. You know, you're not getting a new result. You're not evolving. You're not growing. You're not gaining what you desire. And watching my clients just get clear and having that stuff lift off of them.
Yes. Yeah.
And show up differently and have different results immediately.
That's the name of the game. I mean, like, Soulcharge is here to be fast, permanent, and immersive. And I just, like, that is what I hear is happening, you know, as you're going through it, as you're working with clients. Are you loving Soulcharge? If so, hit the subscribe button, leave a review, and share an episode. We want to bring powerful content to women leaders each week so that women can be unleashed to create the results that they want now. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.